Good morning children. Today we are going to study more about the lesson inside our earth, and our topic is today's is rocks and minerals. There are different types of rocks we have studied in earlier classes. So any natural mass of mineral matter that makes up the earth's crust, any natural mineral matter, which rocks are containing minerals, different types of minerals. So such kind of natural mass of mineral matter which makes up the earth's crust is called a rock. Rocks can be also in a different color, different size, and its texture also. There are three major types of rocks. Many are there, but the major types of rocks are three: igneous rocks, sedimentary rocks, and metamorphic rocks. Let us see here. Igneous is a Latin word. Ignis means fire. Sedimentary is also a Latin word. Sediment, which meaning settle down. Metamorphic, it's a Greek word metamorphos, meaning change of form. Now let us see here what are these different types of rocks. When the molten magma, we know that magma is interior of the earth which is coming out of the earth's surface. Molten magma is from the interior of the earth is coming out of the surface. When it molten magma becomes lava when it is on the earth's surface, this becomes cool, it will be cooled down, and also it becomes solid when it is on the earth's surface. So rocks are formed when from this molten magma when it becomes cool and also solid. So the rocks formed in such a way on the earth's surface, on the crust, is called extrusive igneous rocks. There are also these when magma cools down, we can say that these are extrusive igneous rocks. There are also two types of igneous rocks, and intrusive and extrusive rocks. So these igneous rocks are also called primary rocks when this magma is solid and it becomes extrusive igneous rocks. They also have very fine particles or grained structure. We can say, for example, basalt rocks. These are very fine grained structure they have. The Deccan Plateau, we know that the South Indian region or this Deccan Plateau is made up of basalt rocks. Sometimes this molten magma or this magma cools down inside the earth, which is coming out of the earth. We know that when it reaches the outside the earth, it becomes solid and it is called extrusive igneous rocks. But on the way, when through the cracks it is coming out, the magma is coming out of the earth's surface, on the way also sometimes it becomes cool down and becomes solid also. So this type of rocks are formed there interior of the earth before it reaches the earth's surface. So the molten magma cools down deep inside the earth's surface also, or earth's crust, interior of the earth's crust. So since the cool down on slowly and they form large grains inside the earth. So these large pieces or large rocks are formed inside the earth also. This type of rocks are called intrusive igneous rocks because it is inside the earth crust. So they also cool down slowly, they form large grains. Granite is such kind of example of intrusive igneous rocks. Grinding stones also, we know that grinding stones we are using to prepare the paste or powder or spices and grains. These are the grinding stones. By rotating or other ways, grinding stones are also made. So these grinding stones are also available, also known as formed in such a way. So now rocks also, how the rocks, different types of rocks are formed interior of the earth. We will study the remaining, and how the igneous rocks are formed. We studied now the sedimentary rocks, and metamorphic rocks also are the other types of rocks. We know rocks are also from the mountain regions towards the slopes. It is rolling down, sometimes it cracks and hit each other, and also they are broken into smaller fragments or smaller pieces. when rocks are rolling down, it may be hit and also broken into small fragments. So these smaller particles are called sediments. When it is broken into smaller particles, they are called sediments. These sediments are transported, we know that along with the wind or river, water, etc. These sediments are transported from one place to the another, and when the flow of water becomes slower, it will be deposited and any places. So these loose sediments are compressed and hardened to form layers of rocks. Sometimes these sediments also join together, accumulate together, and it is formed as rocks also. Such kind of rocks are called sedimentary rocks. So these types of rocks are sedimentary rocks, etc. Example, we can say sandstone, which is made from such kind of grains of sand. These rocks also may be contain fossils of plants, animals, and other microorganisms that once lived on the earth. So in between the sedimentary rocks we can find the fossils also. What are fossils? Fossils, we know that the remains of the dead plants and animals trapped in the layers of the rocks many years ago. Whatever the animals and plants lived on the earth many years ago, these are trapped in the this type of sedimentary rocks. Now coming to the another rocks which is known as the metamorphic rocks. Igneous and sedimentary rocks can change into metamorphic rocks also. These two types of rocks can be changed its form into metamorphic rocks when it is under great pressure and heat. Due to great pressure and heat, it can be changed into metamorphic rocks also. Clay sometimes changes into slate and limestone into marble. These are the examples of metamorphic rocks. Rocks are also, we know, they are used in different purposes. We know rocks are useful to us. These hard rocks are used for making roads, houses, buildings, etc. We know metals, we are using the as metal for laying the road also. You can also use these in many different games also. By throwing with the stones, you are also playing and 7 stones or hopscotch and 5 stones. So these are the different types of games you are also playing with the rocks. We can say one type of rock changes into another type in certain conditions. We already studied that igneous and sedimentary rocks can change into metamorphic rocks also. So this is now a cyclic process. We can say that rock cycle, because one type of rock can be changed into another type of rock. This is continuous process like water cycle, rock cycle also we call it as, because when the molten magma cools, it solidifies to become igneous rocks. Molten magma becomes igneous rocks. These igneous rocks are broken down into small particles. They are transported from one place to another and deposited there, which is called sedimentary rocks. Okay, so that the igneous rocks become sedimentary rocks. Again, these rocks, when the igneous and sedimentary rocks are subjected to great heat and pressure, when it is exposed to great heat and pressure, it can also to be changed into metamorphic rocks. So the metamorphic rocks which are still under great heat and pressure melt down and form molten magma. So this again can become, these metamorphic rocks can become molten magma again. This molten magma again can cool down and solidify into igneous rocks. So this is the way different the changes of rocks are occurring, and its form also is changing. Continuous process it is, that's why it is also called a rock cycle. One form of rock is changed into another form, that can further change into another form, and it is going on continuously. Rocks are also, we studied that, made up of different minerals. Minerals are naturally occurring substances which have certain physical properties and a definite chemical composition also. We know that different types of minerals are valuable for us, and it has chemical properties and physical properties are available in these minerals. Very important for us because many types of uses we have. We often use as fuels also, for example coal and natural gas, petroleum. These are fuel minerals, we often use it and we know how much it is important for us. Many industries also these minerals are used, especially the iron, aluminum, gold, uranium, etc. And in some type of medicines also and fertilizer industries also these type of minerals are used. So go through this lesson. This is over. This chapter is ended here. About the rocks and minerals and what are the different types of rocks available in interior and on the surface of the earth. That's all for today. Thank you.